My name is Professor Eugene Milne and I'm Director of Public Health for Newcastle. Air quality is a huge issue for health and well-being, and although nowadays the exhaust that you see from cars appears to be clear, there's still an awful lot of toxic material in there. A report that appeared in February by the Royal College of Physicians says that around 40,000 deaths a year in this country are a result of poor air quality. That's about 1 in 12 of all deaths in this country. It's a very big figure, and a lot of that is to do with the way that our transport system works. We also know that people who live close to roads are much more likely to die of heart disease and respiratory disease than people who live further away. So part of the public health agenda for us is trying to address those issues. Newcastle has certain advantages. The air in Newcastle is cleaner than other core cities, though clearly not as clean as it would be out in the countryside. So we start from a bit of an advantage there. We also know that car ownership is lower in Newcastle than it is in other parts of the country. Now that means, in a way, we start from a favourable position because the solutions that we might try and look for in terms of public transport and so on are probably more readily available to us than they might be elsewhere. We're seeing some significant improvements already. We're seeing work going into the cycle infrastructure of the city, which we've been supporting in public health by trying to get people more motivated to get out on their bicycles and so on. But we also need to see a much more pedestrian-friendly city. We need to see a public transport infrastructure that allows people to go about their daily business without having to use cars. The difference between using a car and using public transport is probably an increase in your walking of maybe 15 minutes, 20 minutes a day. That's enough to make a big difference to your health. There's some good evidence from cities around the world that by improving access for pedestrians, by pedestrianising public places, actually it not only makes the environment of the city better to live in, but is also good for business. In New York, where they pedestrianised areas that had been full of traffic for years, they found that business profits went up in those areas. I'd really like to see the same thing happening in Newcastle.